Bavarian Motorworks, nicknamed BMW, is by far the greatest car company that has ever been engineered in German mundane life. Ever since the 1970s, 1980s, and 1990s, we all seen BMWs, such as the M5 E34, the E28i, the BMW 1. There was this one BMW that quickly changed the world in 2011, and that is the BMW 1M Series Coupé. Today we are diving into the lore of this famous early 2000s BMW. The BMW 1 Series M is by far the greatest 2000s BMW of 2011, marking it as one of the most iconic BMs of all time. But why this? Well, unlike most of the BMWs of the late 1990s, they were kind of boring, kind of flat out. They suddenly give out the bore in everyone's liking to that day. But 2011, that was when they made it happen. The BMW 1 Series M is by far the successful version of the original BMW supercar known as the BMW 1 Series, which is basically used in the 1980s and 1990s of the era. What makes this the true BMW of the early era is that BMW stopped making good cars with some of the most unusual kinds of styling, such as the BMW X5, the X6. I always thought those cars were less BMW style but more a mix of Mercedes Benz station wagons or SUVs or whatever they could come up with. But ever since I laid my eyes on the screen, I seen this thing, the BMW 1 Series M, the greatest 2000s BMW of all time. Although BMW has gone through a lot of years, but there is something else that you don't actually remember about BMW. Back in its time, BMW wasn't about cars or motorcycles or dominating the Nürburgring. Nope. They were originally used for aircraft engineering for the US military. I'm not sure that it is quite true because that's what BMW was. They were engineering airplanes. But what happened in the 1980s and 1970s? Well, they began constructing cars, and the BMW M1 series from 2011 is by far the greatest of all time BMW, and it was G.O.A.Ted. Why G.O.A.Ted? Well, because unlike the previous BMWs of their era, they were more of luxury, style, and performance. But when it comes to performance and simplicity, 2011 was by far the greatest year BMW released this car. This car was an absolute legend, known for its legendary straight 6 M54 power plant. This small two-door car was basically the coolest of the cool. It's a 10 out of 10, not by magazine tropes or movie records. This car became the epitome of BMW advancements. But why choose BMW for performance if everyone just goes for Mercedes, AMG, and Dodge? Well, here's the thing. BMW has been known for advancing technology over the past few years, and 2011, they basically made something so simple that it actually still dominates an era about almost 15 to 64 years ago. In fact, 64 years since the 80s and 90s was the era when BMW first dominated the Nürburgring for almost a decade or so. But then 2011 from 2026, which is right about now, is 15 years later. And 2011 gave us this thing, the BMW 1 Series M. It is basically the last G.O.A.Ted BMW has ever been proven since those years. The legendary capability of the BMW 1N series is that it became the last survivor of the BMW era of sports cars and performance sedans. But the BMW Series M1, it wasn't really a sedan at all. It was a two-door coupe or coupe. If you don't know what that is, a coupe is basically a two-door sports car that lessens weight distribution and basically is a lighter weight body that is basically meant for racetracks and summer day driving. I remember seeing these kinds of cars on the road, and basically they were quite legendary. Although they were not really a two-door like this one was purely the true sports car symbol of how BMW used to be before going into the mundane life of crossovers and SUVs, which really bugs people to believe that they were not good cars. But the BMW Series 1M, that was a statement of prodigy. Ever since the world took away great cars, the BMW Series 1M became the last known BMW on earth to live its legacy. 15 years to this generation of cars, cars became less fast, they became boring, they became slow, they became economically friendly. But the BMW 1M is truly a legend. Known for its 6-speed manual transmission, it became one of the most popular BMWs of the 2000s that still dominates the era from a year that has lived to forgotten cars good as this. The BMW 1 Series M wasn't just a car, it became an epitomic symbol of passion, dominance, and performance. Thank you for watching. Make sure you guys go comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.